Today on Metaphysical Mississippi, we have Shari Crook with us. You've seen her before. She has resolution hypnotherapy and she is at Holistic Health and Healing. She's going to be sharing an upcoming class, so stick around. Hey Shari, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Oh, um, I'm excited about this class that you're about to offer. And I know it is coming up soon.
It is.
It's a fascinating subject. It is automatic writing
Yes.
and hieroscripting.
Scripting. Yes, that's what I guess I'm thinking she's the person that put a name to it, even though it's something that's uh, been around a long time. But her name is Shelley Stockwell, and she's a really excellent hypnotherapist from California.
Oh, so
Yeah.
that makes me. I was going to ask you this, and well, I'm going to ask you real quick, but we may go into it later. Yeah, is this related to tapping into you know, going to a hypnotherapy state, or if that's the right wording, or
Trance, trance, trance
trance,
state,
trance state.
trance state. All trance states really are like physically what happens to your body. If you had some leads on your head and we could watch the EEG, the activity in the
Yes,
brain, the
yes.
brain does the same thing, whether you're being a psychic, a medium, whether you're doing automatic writing. And hypnotherapy, the person that's in, they're in an altered state too. Even I am when I do it as the practitioner. We're just working at a whole higher level.
So it's like you get into, well, you go to, well, I've heard of the higher self, or are you tapping into your higher self while the other person is tapping into
Yes.
theirs?
And with this class, this is actually like a type, almost like a type of channeling. That channeling is the same thing. If you're connecting and then you are receiving, you are a funnel and you're receiving. This is the automatic writing comes from there. So you can ask questions. You can just get guidance. You can do it for yourself or for other people. But it's just a really cool way to connect and sit down and you just put pen to paper, and I have all kind of exercises I'm going to be taking everyone through so they can progress and learn how to do it. You put the pen to the paper and start writing just whatever comes out, and you're a funnel. And we say that in Reiki too. You're a funnel. You receive the energy.
Yes.
It's all the same thing, even though there's all these different modalities and these different applications. But when you're talking about connecting with the higher self, spirit,
Mm-hmm.
um, higher consciousness, it's all the same thing. So with this class that I'm doing, we're going to do the automatic writing first, and the exercises are great. And I've seen other people in classes, nobody ever has trouble with it. It's really cool. And then that's the first half of the second half is where we're going to just tap into your creativity. And this is almost like contacting your muse. So we're going to have some fun stuff. I'm going to have like crayons, paints, pens, colors, just different things, and we'll have different exercises with that. And you can just do so much with that. And it can help to really inspire you. But when you go back and you look at what you painted or what you wrote in hypnosis, we're working with your subconscious self.
Yeah.
Well, what comes out of the writing and all of the beautiful artwork or whatever in the drawings, the same thing. So it's your subconscious. It's what you need to hear. If you just sit quietly, that you always hear the philosophers, like sitting in the quiet, or
Yeah.
is to connect. So, and we won't be quiet. This will be a fun a fun day. So it could be some writing, some drawing. People do, I have beautiful ink drawings I've seen people do, or charcoal sketches, pastels, paints, crayons. It does, you know, it's just different, but it's like what you, I did an exercise in one of my classes, for example, and she had us draw a house. It was on manila paper and crayons, a house, a tree, and a person. Any house, any tree, any person. We did the exercise and you had 5 minutes, or maybe she gave us a few more, not long. You had to like draw. It wasn't much more than a stick figure for most of us, for the person.
Yes.
But in our mind, we knew who that person was. And the house, and we didn't have time to really think about it. We draw a house, boom, draw a tree. And then she had us go back and tell us, what house was it? What made you draw it? And then even as many, like how many windows are on the house? Windows actually represent the people that are associated with the house, not necessarily the number that lives in it, but the people that you're. And front doors are people at the front door. It means beginnings. So you start to draw, because we think in metaphors. The average human is like saying or thinking like six metaphors a minute. We compare everything to everything else. You just aren't always consciously aware of it. So that's just that's how the hypnosis part.
Gotcha.
With creative higher self part. Creative higher self puts on the paper what you need to hear most. Just like when we do past life, what do I tell you? You go where you need to go most. Same higher self.
Yes.
Right?
And I know when
we all have
I was just gonna say, when I did the past life, that I'm thinking, ew, I'm gonna be under a trance, and what if I draw something? You know, but you're still all in control. I remember.
Always. Yes. It's not what people see on television, but once you do this, I mean, it's easy. Meditation is not a problem for you anymore. Once you know what it feels like and when you go there. And the purpose of things like automatic writing or doing the painting, the hieroscripting, or whether you're sitting in meditation or you're doing an active guided meditation or hypnosis, or whether you're doing Reiki, it's all, you're tapping into the same exact source, but all of us perceive differently. Your higher self, your soul, it doesn't have eyes to see and mouth to speak, or ears to hear. So how else do you communicate? So these are ways of communication. These are all ways to communicate. And some of us are a little, and a few, like your sister and me, Jennifer, I mean, all of us, we're multiple things. We're not like, she's not just, a Reiki master. I mean, she's done that best training, psychic training. I've done the psychic and medium, hypno. Jason is a yoga instructor and sound bath, and is he did massage too? But it's all the same thing. Yes. It's all the same thing with different modalities. So this is for the more artistic, or some people like to write. Some are born writers. We have Natalie. People that just write. Your sister writes really good. I was telling her that the other day. Her newsletters and stuff. If people haven't read them or noticed them, and I know you. And I know that you are part of that too. But like when I see Krista's letters to her Reiki students and all of that stuff, she's just very good.
She is very good, and I'm glad that she's stepping up to the plate when I'm telling her, you gotta write.
I didn't ask her, but she's probably super fluent at doing that.
When I'm thinking,
that's one of her things.
Yes. Oh, when you first presented this, I heard of this idea. I mean, that you were going to do it. I just see, like on TV, or somebody usually dealing with on a medium level, like just doing some crazy things on a sheet of paper, drawing, and it looks like ooh, that's kind of creepy. But the way you're explaining it, it doesn't appear creepy at all to do
It's
this
not.
writing.
Famous painters throughout all of history will say, that just came to me in a dream, or I just did that.
Yes.
Higher self has been talking to us for as long as there has been us. It is us. It is part of us. And it's the part of us that's connected to all that is. And if you stop and listen, you can get all kind of cool information. And for, some people are clairaudient. They hear, claircognizant. You just know, clairsentient, clairvoyant. They see, whatever so they're going to be more, they're going to be more inclined to maybe be just to be a psychic, to be a Reiki master, to be but everybody's got that energy. It's just how you choose to use it. And I'm of the firm belief, because I'm living proof, is even if you weren't born doing it. And actually, I think we were, and it got squashed somewhere around the time between ages 3 and 5 for most of us. But it wasn't developed, and so we're having to develop it. So you have to find out what you tend to be more, how you learn, how do you learn. And some things you learn some stuff one way and some stuff another. So not somebody that's clairvoyant may also be clairaudient or something. So, you may hear and see, and it may switch back and forth depending on if you're doing something for yourself or something for others. We're all different. Now, the reason for the class is there's people out there that know that they have gifts and they can connect, and they haven't figured out a way to funnel it. So this is a funnel. This is just if they're artistic, musical people. It's Bach that said that he just received the music. All he did was write it down. Many composers, many writers. There's several books. Was it Jack?
You say Jack, I'm just thinking Jack London, but I'm not sure if that's.
Yes. He said he didn't write that book, but he said, but he said on his books he didn't write them. He just transposed it, or dictated it. It was dictated to him from.
Yes.
So this is a way to tap into your muse, or if you tend to be more artistic and creative, and you don't even have to be able to write music or whatever. You might even just be a crafty type person. You like getting your hands on things. You see the world differently. So this is just a way for people to experiment with this if they've not ever tried it before. And I have all kind of exercises. So we, start it and work our way through, and it just gets, it's just one modality for people that feel like they resonate with it. So if writing, and if you're creative, you want to get your hands on some colors during meditation.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what it is. But it's to appeal, because I think we all have these gifts. And it's a great way if somebody's kind of curious and they just want to try it out and see if they could, do this.
Yeah.
And we do it all the time anyway. Anytime you get inspiration, what is that? What is inspiration, and where did it come from?
You're right.
It's a normal, natural thing. It's nothing scary. It's, and people, I say when I do my sessions, you heard me say it, imagine and pretend, right? How many times I say that? 100. Imagine and pretend. And I've had people say, oh, I just pretended. I just made it up. Yes. Where'd it come from? Where'd those ideas come from? People aren't given enough credit to.
Right.
And it is your higher self, you, that's connected to all that is. And if you can open up, there's no telling what you could receive, and it could be your thing. I'm not very artistic, so I'm not teaching any art class here. So that's not what this is. This is connecting and expressing yourself. So
I was just gonna say, I wonder if the people with the different clairs, if you're in a group setting with several different people with with a variety of clairs, what's going to come out on that sheet of paper too? you know, it could be
I'll tell you
interesting.
what, though, sometimes really interesting. I did this exercise when I was down in Florida taking those classes,
Yes,
and from one of my teachers, and I did the one with the tree and the house and the person.
yes.
A lady who was sitting over several rows up and on the opposite side of the classroom as me, they were sharing, everybody was sharing their pictures. Mine and hers were almost exactly alike. And the only difference was, and she told us to stop, right? And I was sharing crayons with someone, everybody else had their own. I had to share. So I remember I did have to wait. So when she told us to stop and put our crayons down, I had the red crayon in my hand. That's as far as I'd gotten, but my picture was done, except I was getting ready to put a red door on my house. And that woman had the same house and she already had the red door. And they were saying, oh, the only difference is the red door. And I held up my hand and I had the crayon in my hand.
And
I
you're
said,
about to,
you took the time out. Our pictures were the same colors. Our little people were ladies and they had dresses on.
same shapes, the dress, you kind of,
Same kind of tree.
oh, goodness.
Because some people did like palm trees and some did
Yeah,
flowers. Some had fruit tree. No, hers and mine were about it. That's just really weird. And we didn't have enough time. It was a short class to really compare notes.
yeah, and see what her gift is, see if y'all had that. Oh, that is,
And we used the same, we had a 24 box of crayons. We had the same color house, same door, same number of windows on the house, 5.
so how many people, how big of a group? Because this is kind of sounds fun to actually see what everybody and compare, like you
Oh,
just
it is
said.
fun. It is fun.
So about how many people, uh,
You could do any size group. Our group was maybe I was there getting my certification for teaching,
oh
and
yeah,
we had to sit in the class, and we were just observing another teacher teach her class, and we went specifically to participate in that exercise with them. And so it wasn't a huge class. It was maybe 6 people in there, and there were 2 teachers because they were co-teaching,
yeah,
and both hypnotherapists, but both psychics too. I mean, so but anyway, and there were 4 of us. We went and sat in the room. So it was
yeah,
maybe 10 people.
yeah. So is that about the size class? Is that kind of what the
Yeah,
size that you're kind of preparing for?
I'm thinking it's probably going to be 6 to 10.
6 to 10.
Yeah, I don't want to crowd everybody. I like
Oh,
them to
right. So
and
it's going to be at Holistic Health and Healing, and I
see
so
where
to
it leads.
bring all of our art supplies, or you're going to have.
I have everything provided that we're going to use. And then once you go home, you can, sky's the limit. You could do whatever you want. So, yeah.
You will lead, but people will leave the class with steps to do this on their own.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Once you do that, once you know, and once you practice, we did automatic writing when I took the class at Soul Synergy, the psychic class. It was just it was one of the sessions during the day.
Yes.
Really did. She covered the spectrum on all kinds of things having to do with that, with psychic and connecting.
Yes.
At the end of the day, though, and I've taken all these classes there, it is all the same stuff. And so if you can learn to connect, you can you can use it to just help you with your own stuff, asking questions, making good decisions, taking time, thinking through stuff, and or you can use it to benefit other people as well.
Yes. Like
Yeah.
what I've seen on TV, like a detective talking to a psychic to find a lost child, or
Yeah. Yeah. People do that. Yeah.
or you can find your lost keys when you're
We can
home.
do that. We can do that with hypnosis too. You could probably
Oh,
do with a couple of different modalities.
yes.
Yeah. It's just connecting and asking and listening,
Yes.
whether it's with these ears or seeing with these eyes, you actually hear and see right here, you know.
Yes. So if they want, it's in Flowood, if they want to register for the class, they're going to contact you.
601-503-5010. You have the flyer, a picture of it, don't you?
Oh, I do.
But
Yes, we'll have it on the website, and then of course on our calendar, and it's been on the newsletter.
yes, it has been on the newsletter, and it'll be on Metaphysical Mississippi's Facebook page. So
Yes,
we have some
yeah.
time.
Sherry, what else do you have going on?
Well, I have the Past Life Regression Small Session, also at Holistic Health and Healing. And cool thing about that is I charge $49. It's a group session, 6 people, usually 6. Sometimes I end up with only 5 come
Yeah.
or 4 or something. Happens last minute. But for people that are interested in doing a past life regression session, private session, and in a private session, I talk, you talk, you know, and you're telling me what's going on. In the group session, you're just listening to me talk. So it's a much deeper and it's more personalized, but it helps if you've done this before. Just like I'm talking about the automatic writing class, right? That's all about connecting. This is too, same thing, connecting. So for the $49, you get to do a past life. And then if you decide to take the private session, I charge $250 for that. It's at least 3 hours, sometimes longer, and kind of a long time to sit, but worth it. But I give you $50 off the price if you went to my small group session. And if you do the small group first, it almost ensures you're going to have a much better private session. So for anybody ever considering they want to do private session, if you do the small group first, well, you know, you went through it, you know, it just helps you really realize how you should interpret and how do you communicate.
Yes.
And
You've done well, you've just thrown in a few little special things when we were like we went and you read and did a meditation when we went to the salt cave. And I think having that first small group session that I had, that when I had the second and I would, hear you talk and stuff, I just, my creativity just went, like I felt like I went to another galaxy or something, it was just, I mean, I felt pulled back. Yeah, I felt pulled back. I remember I had a moment where I felt like I was firmament and I was floating over the ocean before it, at the creation of the earth. I felt that. I felt that.
Wow.
Woo, wait. So yeah. So you're gifted in what you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's who does your sessions now, because you've done a couple of sessions with me.
Yeah.
It will always be easy for you to participate in the things that I do because of my voice.
Yeah.
My teacher, I learned hypnotherapy from him. That's like 120 classroom hours. And then 60 hours learning past life from him, direct classroom hours with him. I just did this other training with him. And as soon as he starts talking, I'm just like, I told him, I said, I almost can't listen to you and stay consciously and staying conscious and not going to my subconscious. So, I mean, I have to like actively listen to pay attention. I can't, if I so whoever you're used to hearing, and some people do like YouTube hypnosis and things like that. You get maybe a favorite person because their voice is of a tone and tempo that works for you. So, yeah. But cool. And speaking of, I'm going to be teaching my first hypnotherapy class, and I'd like to have 4 students if I can.
We'll have it on our website as well.
Yes.
Calendar at metaphysicalms.com.
It's worth it if you want a second career or a hobby. In my opinion, it is the highest certification you can get. There's another couple, another really good school, but it's not from the United States. But anyway, and there's several good schools, but ours has really stringent guidelines. So it's called the International Association of Counselors and Therapists, IAC.
Okay.
And so they'll have an IAC certification when they're done and can practice hypnotherapy.
And well, I know of only one other, well, a couple of other hypnotherapists, but there's not very many of you guys in Mississippi currently, is there? So,
And there's not really a lot that do like what I do, you know, which was take clients take clients by the day. A lot of them do specialty things, you know. And there are more, but a lot of them aren't necessarily practicing right now. They practice for a while or they don't.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure how many do what I'm doing right now, which is like seeing clients daily. Plus I do these classes and stuff. So,
Right.
but there's a couple that do really cool classes and programs, and theirs are more not geared to just individual sessions, but teaching. So
Yes.
I do both for now.
So this is an exciting opportunity
Oh yeah.
for the area.
Yeah, gonna have more hypnotherapists. And this first class, I wanted to try to do it all in person, people that are within the state of Mississippi, if possible. I mean, they can be from outside the state, that doesn't matter, but I was just trying to just do it for the first one, if I could do it locally.
In class. Yeah, in person.
In person. And then I may do next year, I'm gonna do 2 classes and one of them will be Zoom.
Wonderful. So if someone's interested in finding out more information, they just text you. Gotcha. And you do have a website.
It takes it, yeah, but my website has nothing about the classes on it yet.
Gotcha.
It will.
So texting you is
that's all for, you know, next year when this is my first class. I wasn't coming out really big and, you know, I've been a hypnotherapist 5 years and working at it steady the whole time. Yes. So, yeah, been doing that monthly past life regression now for almost 5 years. So every month. So I've had a lot of people that have come through that. Yes. Yeah. Helped a lot of people quit smoking too. So I do. And a lot of hypnotherapists don't do both sides of that either, you know, anyway. So for now, I do the more traditional stuff and I do the more fun spiritual things. Next year it's $29.95. It's almost $3,000. It's not inexpensive, but it's 120 classroom hours.
Right.
And
that's
certification. It's worth it. You'll be on the international website listed as a practitioner when you're in. And I have gotten business off of there. I get calls because I'm on the website on theirs.
Wonderful.
People look from Mississippi. There's not that many of us right now. There will be. There will be.
Yes. So we know about the small groups that you offer, the past life regression small group once a month. All these events are at Holistic Health and Healing, but it sounds like it's going to be a great workshop.
Yay. I think so too. And it's going to be fun and very creative. And I'm hoping to attract some people that are really kind of new to all of this. Yeah. I remember, you know, when I used to work at the crystal shop, you know, and I'd be standing out there when somebody'd walk in the door and you could tell they were like, their eyes were like this big and they were feeling the energy of everything in there. And you could just, I used to love to talk to them and they'd want to know about crystals for this or that. And I'd walk them and show them. I mean, I didn't even really work in the store. I just used, you know, I was a hypnotherapist there, but I'd still walk them through the store and talk if everybody else was busy. And so that it's so fun for people that are just beginning to open up to that. They know that they've got this, they can feel it, they can see it. One of the teachers that I was taught by in Florida had an accident as a child, fallen off the merry-go-round, and she was unconscious and in the hospital. And then when she came to, she could see auras. And so she told everybody, and they just thought they did brain, they did more tests than they'd already done on her.
Yeah.
They kept her in the hospital longer, and then sent her home. And her mama ended up telling her to stop telling people that. And then it actually went on for many years where they didn't want her to tell people, because at first they thought she had like brain damage, and then they just thought maybe it was psychological. And so
Yeah.
she stopped telling people, but she could see auras. So, and she had nobody to talk to. And so people come in and that they see auras, or they are, most of them will say, oh, I'm an empath. And I always want to say, yes, we all are, really.
Yeah.
If you're open to it, you are.
Yes.
And you learn how to not be, because then they just open the door and just go, what? You don't want to do that either.
Yeah. So this is a great opportunity to kind of just stick your big toe in and just.
And it's a safe place.
Place.
It'll be a fun place, light and
Yes.
easy, and you just get to try it. And I explain it all the way through, and you can redo it yourself. Once you're finished with the class, you can do it over and over at home. It's more than anything else, it's getting people to trust and believe that they can do it. And when you do, if you can go in with just like maybe a childlike expectations, and it's just going to be fun, then it will be.
It will.
It will be. People take it way too serious sometimes. And I'm not here to tell you, spirit source has a sense of humor.
Yes.
Funniest things can come through. And I think we're just going to have a really great time. Who doesn't like coloring with crayons? I mean, just remember you used to do that as a kid. If you can get a message from it.
Well, Shari, it was a delight having you on here as usual, as always. And do you have any last words about the event before we?
No, I just I hope we'll get a good crowd. I'm sure we will. We always have fun. And thank you so much for letting me talk about that and my other two classes, my
Yes.
Life Regression and then the hypnotherapy. I'm so excited about teaching new hypnotists. That will be a fun thing.
Yes, it will be.
It's been a lifesaver for me. So I'm just really grateful that I get to do this job at the place I get to do it with the people I get to do it with. I get to work with you, sister.
Yes.
Some lovely, lovely people at our place that we have. So
you do. I know.
Always have a good time. So everybody that comes has fun.
Yes.
Thank you, Emily.
Oh, you're welcome. All right. We'll see y'all next time. Bye. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent.